Hello and a warm welcome to the Middle East Export Masterclass for Malaysia in collaboration with Matrade, Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation. I'm your host, Shinu Pillai from GL Exhibitions, organizers of the 21st edition of the Middle East Organic and Natural Product Expo held in Dubai World Trade Center from 12 to 14 December this year. Organic Majlis is the Middle East online community of exporters and importers of all things bio, natural, and organic. And the Masterclass is a series of country-focused sessions aimed at helping exporters, our audience, increase their business in the Middle East. And nothing better than learning the tips and tricks of the trade from leading importers and leaders of the industry, our panelists. The Middle East as a region has been at the forefront of the bio, organic, and natural revolution in recent years due to an all-time high consumer demand and its high dependency on imports. Dubai has emerged as the hub for re-exports to the rest of the region, along with a 60% year-on-year increase in retail and private label sectors. Malaysia has been looked upon by the world as the producer of all things fresh and natural. It has started to emerge as a key regional player when it comes to supplying organic and natural foodstuff, along with the beauty and cosmetic products and health supplements too. This is mainly due to the large existence of natural landscapes and undisturbed forest land, be it organic coffee, tea, honey, fresh produce, ecological products, and many more. With Malaysia's bio industry being export-oriented, the Middle East and North Africa region, or MENA, will always be a lucrative market for Malaysian exporters. In today's masterclass, we will hear from the region's top importers about the key challenges, pain points, and opportunities for the Malaysian companies to enter the Middle East market. Today's session will also address the complexities, supply chain, and distribution mechanisms. Let's get into it. Today, we are joined by hundreds of exporters from Malaysia, and with me are our panel of experts who are leading importers in the Middle East. Firstly, I would like to welcome Mr. Megat Iskandar, Trade Commissioner, Matrade, Dubai. Mr. Iskandar is the current Malaysian Trade Commissioner to the UAE, assuming the position in October 2022, after serving as the Malaysian Trade Commissioner to the United Kingdom from 2018 to 2022. He has been with Matrade since 2004, holding various roles including Assistant Trade Commissioner in Los Angeles from 2008 to 2011. Mr. Iskandar has played a significant role in developing and promoting the Malaysia International Halal Showcase, or otherwise known as MIHAS, during his tenure with Matrade headquarters in Kuala Lumpur. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration from the International Islamic University, Malaysia. Mr. Iskandar, once again, pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you.
Next, we have one of the UAE's most successful distribution chain of supermarkets. Let's welcome Dharmendra Mohani, General Manager, West Zone Group. With a chain of over 100 supermarkets, New West Zone is one of the UAE's most successful and fastest growing retail chain. Dharmendra, the general manager, plays an important role in strategic expansion of the company and supports the procurement team and looks over retail operations and head of e-commerce. I'm sure that we have lost him in between, but I'm very confident that he will be joining us any moment. So we move on. Our next panelist marks her career working with one of the premium supermarkets in the Middle East region. Please welcome Marina Cantor, Category Manager, Spinneys and Waitrose. Spinneys and Waitrose, the premium supermarket chain operating in UAE and Oman, is further expanding to the other markets, including the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Spinneys is offering a unique shopper experience and delivers exceptional quality products. Having had 9 years of experience in FMCG business in the UAE, Marina enjoys being part of a professional team, passionate about food and prioritizing customers' well-being by driving sustainability projects. Marina, once again, welcome on board. And now, our last panelist, who has over 25 years of experience in the HoReCa FMCG health and beauty sector, and still continuing to achieve a lot more. Please welcome Anaita Kanat, Global Strategic Sourcing and Retail Category Management Expert from the HoReCa Hospitality sector. With over 25 years of experience in FMCG and health and beauty, Anaita works with strategic procurement, sourcing fresh and ambient food and non-food services and indirect materials and packaging materials for multinationals like the United Nations and many luxury hotels. Also, she is an expert in retail category management and supply chain management within FMCG and healthcare and beauty products. And now I would request Mr. Megat Iskandar to make his opening remarks for today's masterclass.
All right, thank you, Shino. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone from Dubai. On behalf of Matrade and as well as GL Exhibitions, I would like to welcome everyone to today's Middle East Export Masterclass, which is especially designed for Malaysian companies to have a better understanding of the Middle East natural and organics market, particularly the key challenges and opportunities, as well as exploring the demand for Malaysian natural and organic products in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is emerging as a key player in the global market for organic and natural products. Malaysia's diverse climate and fertile soil provide ideal conditions for cultivating a wide range of products from this sector. From tropical fruits and herbs to sustainable palm oil and rice, the country boasts a bountiful array of offerings. This abundance of natural resources forms the foundation of Malaysia's thriving organic and natural products industry. In recent years, there has been a significant shift in consumer preferences towards healthier and more environmentally friendly options. The trend is also evident in the Middle East, where it is experiencing a significant shift in consumer preferences for healthier and sustainable lifestyle choices. Dubai, in particular, has been steadily growing as a hub for organic and natural products in this region, and this is due to its strategic location, thriving tourism industry, and growing awareness of health and sustainability. With an increasing focus on health, sustainability, and environmental consciousness, the demand for natural and organic products has witnessed a remarkable surge. Consumers are more willing to pay a premium for higher quality and healthier products, including those labeled as natural or organic. This burgeoning interest presents a golden opportunity for Malaysian businesses and entrepreneurs to tap into this lucrative market and make a positive impact on both people's well-being and the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the key strengths of Malaysia's natural and organic industry is its commitment to sustainable farming practices. Farmers and producers adhere to strict guidelines, emphasizing organic and pesticide-free cultivation methods. This commitment not only ensures the quality and purity of the products, but also aligns with the growing global demand for sustainable and eco-friendly goods. Recognizing the potential of the natural and organic industry, the Malaysian government has implemented various supportive measures. These include financial incentives, research and development initiatives, and the establishment of organic certification bodies. Such support has encouraged investment, innovation, and the expansion of export capabilities, further propelling the industry's growth. Malaysia's organic and natural products have also gained significant traction in international markets, including Europe, North America, and Asia. The country's reputation for producing sustainable and premium goods has also contributed to its export success. Additionally, Malaysia's strategic location and well-established trade networks make it a preferred hub for distributing organic and natural products to global buyers. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants for joining today's session and to our esteemed panelists for dedicating their time and expertise. Throughout this masterclass, we will delve into the exciting prospects that lie ahead, as well as the various challenges and strategies that can help you navigate and seize the myriad opportunities in this dynamic market. And with that, I wish you all a very successful session. Thank you.
Thank you for your opening remarks, Mr. Iskandar. Thank you very much. And Mr. Dharmendra, welcome back.
Sorry for late. Actually, I was some network issue was there actually.
Happens. Absolutely. All right. So we'll straight away get on with our session. So just for everybody's benefit, we have divided today's session into three key areas. The first one being we go through the key challenges and opportunities for Malaysian exporters. And the second part of the discussion will be around how to win in the Middle East, because I'm sure like your panelists like such as you, it will be an opportunity for the Malaysian exporters who are listening to us. It will be fantastic for them to learn from you. And last but not the least, the topic we'll cover will be understanding the export requirements, product registration, and other formalities. So I think, as in always, in our series, what we always see, we receive a lot of questions from our exporters, right? So quite naturally here as well, probably the first question that they're all eagerly waiting for is, what kind of demand are we witnessing in general for organic and natural products in the Middle East? I mean, this is probably the burning question that everybody would want to know. And I think it will set the scene for today's today's session, right? So let's probably start with you, Dharmendra. So what is it? I mean, with all these chain of supermarkets and distribution, so what is a trend that you're seeing probably in the last year or so?
See, the last year that people are very much about the health conscious, and definitely after the pandemic, that organic demand is increased. Of course, the people are now a little bit concerned as the cost also is rising in UAE very much, because the food prices has gone up like anything. Especially, I can say in a UAE, the 40% approximately is gone up all over UAE. So definitely, but the other hand, there is the niche customers are there who looking the organic product. Still, they are very health conscious about that, and definitely the demand is surged for that. So especially this demand is coming for the cereals, the kind of confectionaries, which is people want to consume that the way that they feel should be the fit and healthy about that, the very much they about concern about these days, the people about their health. So this, especially that confectionaries is very much is the chocolates, confectionaries, cereals, sugar-free items. And I think Malaysia can play the bigger role in that, because the most of the things when the price is increasing it here, so that people are looking at another options also, the price should be very economical, but it's still the product should be the good quality. And I can say the Malaysia people having a trust in that, the Malaysia playing the bigger role in that. Safety standards are maintained, the quality is maintained by Malaysia. There is a lot of products is already in UAE which is coming, but organic sector is a little bit. I don't think that much is people are aware about from Malaysia, which products are here is still available in UAE. I think that is a very less percentage that I can say currently in UAE.
Interesting. You mentioned about, because it's interesting to see that, how you are seeing the kind of product fit and where Malaysian exporters can fit into this market, right? Very interesting. And is it a similar trend or demand that you're seeing in your chain of supermarkets in Spain?
Yes, very. There's a lot of items in the dairy, even in the meat products is there. So there's number of products which coming already from Malaysia, and even the Nestle is quite bigger range, which is also produced by noodles, the cheese, the soy milks, which is already available here in number of products, which is the import by a number of suppliers who's importing it here. A lot of parallel import also is there, who people are importing it. Those prices are coming very economical comparing to the whose registered vendors are here. Because parallel importer are able to supply the more better prices. But that is like us on chain supermarket especially, that should be coming from the registered vendors, very much important, because that continuous supply is very much necessary. The availability of the product, because when the parallel import, they're not maintaining the chain of supplies. But when the distributor is there, when especially that registered vendor with us, so they're maintaining the proper chain and supply. So they're able to do continuous supply for the products.
Indeed, a very valid point. Absolutely, I completely understand. And let's go and see what views Marina has on this in your experience, Marina. If you can unmute.
hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
So since I haven't been into fresh produce for some time, but I can tell you that from what trends we can see at Spinneys and Waitrose, definitely all the organic and plant-based solutions sit well with our customers. And Spinneys most probably was one of the biggest in terms of scale for this kind of products. It was booming during COVID times, but during last year, I would say the trend is more, it's stagnating, I would say, maybe even with the drop of 2-3%. But in general, obviously, as our customers, all the customers are hit by inflation, as Amanda mentioned already. As soon as the demand will revive, then I believe there is much more potential, and the growth will be back on track. And for sure, there are a lot of opportunities for Malaysian products.
Brilliant. And generally, when you look at sourcing, Marina, is it like, you look at specific countries, or you are open to finding out new products, introducing them into the market? So how do you go about that? I mean, end of the day, that also connects to how do you fill the demand and supply gap, right?
Yeah, obviously our focus is more concentrated on European and all around Europe and US regions.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly driven by our sourcing offices that are located in those regions. But in general, we're open to look at any region as soon as the product has its own benefits and it will resonate with our customer. We're more than happy to offer this product.
Perfect. And on the other hand, is it the same trend that you see, or is it any different, Anita, when it comes to the HoReCa and hospitality sector? Because we can see that, especially talking about Malaysia, there are quite a few dedicated restaurants which has come up, especially in Dubai and elsewhere. So what is it that you're seeing in the HoReCa sector?
Yeah, so in the HoReCa sector, like you see, I mean, we are here to fulfill the demands of the customers, right? And what customers enjoy in their daily life, I believe, is what they want when they're out, when they're on holiday, when they are with their families. So I have seen that trend in like when I was part of the most iconic hotel opening, or right now within the entertainment, hotels, hospitality sector, that there is not only a demand for organic, but there's also a certain accountability that I believe that we as hoteliers need to put to understand the source and to make sure that we are publicizing, or we are making sure that our customers know where our product is coming from. So to give you a small example, when we have the sustainability drive on fish, for example, so we had in our menus QR codes, which not only just told us that this fish is organic at this way, but it give you the source, right up to the source, like a farm to plate kind of a thing. So that has become the responsibility of us as front end providers. And that was for me the learning, that it's not just about getting the product, but also getting it from the right source and making our end users aware of it. So yes, so the trend is absolutely there. People hold you accountable for it, and it's very important to meet that. There has been, of course, for me as a hotelier, or for me as even as a retailer for that matter, we go to traders for this. Yeah, so I wouldn't really go and buy a salmon from the salmon farm, but I would go to a trader. So it is important, and I see that trend happening a lot, where we need to have the source, the entire the tree to be defined as to where the item is coming from. So yes, absolutely. And organic items there is surely a demand for organic items and for alternatives. Like even for sugar, I mean, it's not just sugar, can you give us coconut sugar? Can we have cane sugar, almond milk? all the almond milk or XYZ. So that there's a lot of demand for such things in the luxury hospitality industry that I've seen just in the last 24 months, not even years.
Interesting. I think from the first round of discussion, probably one thing resonates with all of you is that, it's about who you are dealing with and who you are sourcing from, right? I mean, this is exactly what we try to, strive to achieve through the Organic and Natural Product Expo. And of course, with our 365 days export promotion. So that end of the day, that we qualify the exhibitors whom we are getting on board, so that there is a certain level of trust that we create, so that their entry into the market becomes more streamlined than they're trying individually. But I think that drives us to the second most asked question, which is, through which distribution channels do we see more of this business taking place? Do you see more on the e-commerce, or is it based on, which channels do you see most of the traffic happening? I mean, especially with, I know that probably for the last 2 or 3 years, there has been a lot of online e-commerce, portals and, many retail chains even, coming up with their own. So is there any particular channel that you see that, that there is an amazing growth that you have seen recent past? It's open. Anybody can answer. Probably I know that Mr. Dharmendra has recently delved into it.
See, of course, the online demand is surging, and online the many players come up. Especially, I can say the organic sector is playing the bigger role online, because niche customers is searching the good products, and then once he find online, and then he order from most of the people's. Because when I see that. The percentage of the shares is not is still the great of online, because of course the online versus is the offline sale is the much more than that. But of course you cannot ignore it that the online is that players when increase up. So this number of people open even the dark store also as well. So there is target customers is the online as well. So the percentage increase on online presence, that the footstep is saying it, yes, you should presence on both places. Number of supermarkets, which is in a niche area like Western, having number of branches, which is Marina side, New Dubai side, which is the more demand the organic products. And especially that till now, the most of the products coming from the Europe. The since this is not the today just started, it's long history that organic products is coming up. But the number of vendors increase now. The products are coming from the China, product are coming from India, product are coming from the various countries also now. The earlier days only product come from the Europe sides. But now that the products is coming from the various options are available for customers. So this globally the customers are increased for the organic, but it's still that due to the prices is not taking that much is percentage of the share of the business. If I say that 50% share of the grocery volumes, so organic is trending there maybe the 2 to 3%, I can say still. Or maybe some of the very good shops are there. Maybe there is come up to 4%, I can say. Yes, of course, the fresh produce is very much increased. People are very much interested in a fresh produce, and even the last year the UAE government is allotted some areas to be fresh produce to be increased in locally also as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Contract farming is on the rise as well. Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Let me quickly go to what kind of a trend are we seeing with Spinneys and Waitrose? I mean, do you see there? Do you consider this as a new revenue channel, or is that more about reaching more customers and offering them that variety, Marina?
With organic products. Are we talking about organic products or the channels?
Yeah, in general, yeah.
So distribution.
Online, I mean, in terms of the channels. So online as a channel, what trend do you see in terms of volumes, in terms of sales?
Yes, so online obviously is growing massively. Our e-commerce delivering most probably double volume compared to last year. So we can see this trend across all categories of products, even including frozen. But I believe it somehow reflects it's a global trend that is we can see that it's growing across the whole world.
Right.
And I'm sure the same situation will be for online retailers.
Right. Okay. Okay. And when it's when it comes to the HoReCa sector, when it comes to sourcing, do you prefer going through a distributor, or are you fine, or are you okay with going through an online distributor or an online e-commerce portal?
We, especially me, I do shy away from online procurement for the HoReCa, for any industry that I'm procuring for, because of the credibility issue. So yes, for an urgent and a one-off purchase, we have an item that we need for the menu, a specific dish maybe, but otherwise it is traders. Traders would be my first choice, because obviously in the HoReCa industry there are licensing issues. We probably cannot import directly. It would be great to be able to import directly, because there you do know the source, but traders, distributors would be the first choice for procurement for the HoReCa. Then of course chains like the supermarket chains like Spinneys or West Zone or Carrefour, because then we know that has been certified. So it's all about certifications and stuff. That is very important for us, because ultimately a customer looks at we as being giving it to them. So absolutely offline. Traders and direct imports where feasible.
Okay, interesting. And is there any particular, I know that you touched upon certain categories, but do you see demand for any particular category within the organic and natural product range, Anita?
Everywhere, to be honest, right from a caviar to meats, organic, all kinds of meats. I don't see any category within food and non-food. I mean, very recently I've been very closely associated even with things like toilet paper and stuff like that. People want it to be organic. That we are here to sing the demand of our customers. We don't invent anything ourselves. So I've seen that across every and it's also a statement that sometimes we want to make that statement as a global carrier or whatever. So I don't believe there's any category which is exempt from having to tick the box on sustainability, on organic, on healthy. That's the way forward.
Interesting you said that, because that's exactly the trend that we are seeing at the show as well, because we have got, at the moment, we have got more than 10 exporters who have joined us for this year's show, with many more in pipeline. And we have got a handful of them who are into ecological products. So that really shows, just resonates with what you just mentioned, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And Dharmendra, any particular trend, for any particular product?
See, the trend is in all over actually, especially in the cosmetic side, the face cares, you can say. And then you can say the organic, that of course the cereal is one of the favorite, everyone's in the bars, the energy bars are there. When you say that, come up to the, even chocolates are there, confectionery products are there. Even the meat and dairy also very much. So the trend, especially this number of SKU, which is the fast SKUs, you can say the chocolate, cereals, dairy and meat, which can having the bigger volume, and you can say. But it's still that demand is vertically increasing in the area, every sectors. But this should be the very much cost effective. The one is the major thing is the people looking the quality and cost effective also. And still then require the trusted brands very much. So there is the niche customers who are still willing to pay for that, whose known brands are there. And with what they are consuming, because someone is health conscious is definitely, so he understands what product he's looking at, and they do deep study about, because they are very much about concern about the product, what they are buying it, and they are paying it for that. So they do all studies, this product coming from where, what is the quality standard, what the safety standard is there mentions, how the feel and look, what is the product quality is there. So I can say that all over sector, especially in the cosmetic and detergent also, that is very much increased.
Interesting. And Marina, from my personal experience, I've seen that, probably Waitrose and Spinneys have been definitely focusing more on meat and other products, but I'm sure that, there is a focus on other areas as well. I know probably you're thinking, which part of my supermarket have you been?
No, you're absolutely right. It's just because Spinneys has always been associated with fresh chicken.
Mm-hmm.
We know that everyone is coming to Spinneys for fresh chicken.
Yes.
Yeah, we can say I would support absolutely Dharmendra that we can see it across all categories, especially in proteins, especially in cosmetics, detergents. We can also see the trend in general merchandise, in disposable range, for example. So plastic plates, disposable plates, and all the utensils, they're already gone. You know that we don't need them on our display even. So now people are looking for more sustainable and eco solutions. So yeah, I would say it's more or less across the board.
Brilliant. I think with that, it's pretty clear that the demand is kind of like across every vertical, across every sector, and not confined to any single one. And I think probably the highlight of this session was the distributors, the supermarkets and hypermarkets, and the traders being open to accessing new products, but something which they can trust. I mean, brands that they can trust and which offer quality and, the benefit of pricing, right? So I think that nicely brings us to the second, part or session of the discussion, which is how to win. I mean, of course, it's very critical that, the exporter knows, like the product price fit when they try to get into a new market. And I know that quite often, or more than multiple times probably, we heard the panelists mentioning about how price conscious at the same time there is an advantage, right? So the first question probably that I want to share or ask the panelists would be how can you ensure that your product is priced competitively in the market without compromising profitability, right? So how do we go about that? Do you have any advice that we could give to our audience, our listeners who are exporters from Malaysia, in terms of something that they can keep in their mind when it comes to how do they price their product, but at the same time, how do they keep profitability?
I will say about the one very key note. They should come up with not only the organic. They come once, if they want to introduce to the UAE, they come with the various options. They should have the brands available, organic and non-organic. So the customer having the both choices, and from organic building, customers knowing the brand from there. One is the available in regular shelves, because the organic shelves, maybe the sales is the 5% only, but other product would be the sales would be the 95% out of the 50% grocery sale, I can say. Mm-hmm. So the once the product is available, the customer sitting in my, this product also available in organic also as well. Mm-hmm. So the customers should have the choice. So naturally that once they're introducing pumping in just not only the organic, they should pump it together with the regular and organic together. The more marketing and awareness about to be, because till now the most of the brands are the famous in Europe side only. So definitely once they're pumping in here, the Malaysia would be the cheaper, definitely than other countries. But here is the competitions, keeping in mind that the Yemen, Egypt, the number of countries which is the producing from here, Middle East part of that ones. So definitely they keep in mind and then play a role accordingly.
Okay. That I think that's pretty valid. So what kind of price competition, or how price conscious are your customers according to you, Marina?
Well, that's an interesting question. When we had a study about price sensitivity of our products a few years back, we found out that there is no price sensitivity, that our customers are ready to pay higher price for the right product, for the product they need. And recently we realized that, even our customers are hit by inflation, and we have to adapt to a new reality. And even we changed our strategy slightly. We started offering promotions to our customers. And when we're talking about organic products, obviously the price does matter. And people start calculating, obviously our incomes are not growing as fast as inflation. So I would say market research is the first thing that you need to do. You need to compare all categories. You need to see relevant products in the range. And if it adds value, if it adds benefit, and then you will just try if this price is accepted by your customer. But in general, I would say from producer perspective, I would say that first thing to do is to find the right partner in the market, because you can always go to a retailer and you can push for a price, but then you won't have the volume. So it really depends on the producers. What are their goals? Do they want to succeed in this market? Do they want to push the volume, or how they want their brand to be established in the market? So this is the main thing that they need to consider. And then if volume is their target, then they should consider picking the right trader.
Right. I think that's very key, right? I think next probably I wanted to ask probably Mr. Iskandar the question. What kind of, I mean, of course, you have heard our panelists talking about, being price conscious, and, how do we get the price and product fit right? So what kind of an advantage do you believe that Malaysian products could bring into the market, Mr. Iskandar?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we have abundance of resources, and we commit to the sustainable farming as well. So Malaysia produce high quality products, especially for organics and natural. And we can also leverage on our halal standards, which is widely accepted worldwide, especially in the Middle East. So there is a competitive advantage for our products to enter into this market. But I would tend to agree with Marina that in order for us to determine the pricing, we need to identify the distributors or importers and work with them, and how we can bring the products into the market, how we build the brand, and so on. So from there, you can determine from the strategy to how we bring the products to the market, and as well as to do, you must have market research, market background to see the competitors' products, the pricing, what are they doing, and how you can, provide more value for your products to compete in this open market.
Thank you. I think that's a very pragmatic and practical approach, right? I mean, this is probably one of the services that we do at the show to help our exporters connect with distributors before they come to Dubai to attend the Organic Expo in December, so that they understand the market demand, they understand how the market works, and of course, like you all mentioned, to find out, the right pricing and the right fit, and how to introduce their products successfully into the market. So I think, having said that, how much price dictates for you when it comes to procurement, Anita?
Yeah, so when you look at the luxury market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are not selling product at a retail price point.
Yeah.
So price, yes, is very important. But for me, what I would say is, as manufacturers of the product, it is important that they get into the price definition and distribution differentiation between the food service and the retail side, and control that, or at least control or be aware of that pricing. For hospitality, it would affect my food cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the end consumer or the guest that comes and stays in the hotel is not concerned about how much I bought that organic coconut sugar for.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is going into a recipe of mine and I'm going to procure that out in the market, and I buy it from an X or Y distributor who's selling it to me at the same price point that he sells it to a retailer, that is of concern to me. And that is when I, as procurement of this, would like to go directly to the manufacturer. You understand? So that's the, and having seen it from both sides of the industry. So for example, if in Nestle Middle East, when I worked for Nestle, there was always a differentiation of price point for the food service industry, which was controlled by us as manufacturers, and with what we gave to our distributors. So I would say for the Malaysian exporters, that would be my advice or my suggestion, that get into that and control that, because that is where you get your bulk of your business also, right? With people who use your product in their recipes. So we are not concerned about the branding or whatever. So you remove that cost when you're selling to a hotel, rather than because I'm always conscious, when I'm buying something and I'm buying a packaged item, I say I know I'm paying something for that packaging. I'd rather buy a sauce which is not with the labeling, because I know that unit or that SKU is bound to be cheaper than a retail pack, and that affects my recipe cost. So yeah, I mean, we are price conscious, very, very price conscious. It is all about savings. It is all about meeting the right product at the right price. And that's where I think the manufacturers need to get involved. Very often, from my experience in so many years, I haven't seen that involvement. It's left to the distributors, is my experience, that we leave it to the distributors to decide how they want to sell and what margin they want to give whom. So yeah, that's my input on the price.
Interesting. I think I can agree more with that, because I think that exactly leads into the next question, which is, what are some of the key factors to consider when selecting a distribution partner that will help maximize the product's reach and market penetration? So I think, we already touched upon the fact how important is your partner, right? So the partner, let's say, like in this case, distributor. So can we give some idea, some advice to the audience who are exporters, who are trying to, introduce their products here? Everybody, of course, knows that, they want to work with the best partner and whatnot. But here, can we list some advice, some points that they should be looking after when they are, trying to select, their future partner?
Definitely, once they are choosing the partners, they should look at what is the distribution strength he's having it, what is the structure of business, what is the brands he's holding it, the company who's taking the distributions, what is his past history, how many vehicles they are having it, the company, what is the manpower strength they are having it, what are the salesmen they are having it, how many merchandisers they are having it, how they are following the behavior of the patterns, what is the planogram they are using it there, how they categorize the product is there. So definitely they look at the complete portfolio before choosing it any trader who can distribute their products. Of course, a very important thing is that what is his presence in the markets, and what is the key accounts he's holding it, like West Zones, like Spanish, Waitrose, Carrefour, and number of other players. Does he's having it that kind of customers, that the number of UAE having a various kind of suppliers, right? And every supplier having it different strategy of business. So the trader they are choosing it, he should be doing such a kind of business which they want to introduce. He should having the behavior of that business, learnings from the past. That was not the new trader who can come up, and otherwise they have to burn the money, and end of the day they do not having anything in hands. So there is a number of traders who's having the distribution in HoReCa and supermarket also as well. So that will be the award to them to be if they are having in both sectors. So he's supplying to the supermarket, and they're still supplying to that HoReCa division also as well. So there is the big traders in UAE, especially.
So it's all about the reach to start with, right? In terms of
very much. They have to, of course, they have to reach what is the reach they are having it. So that can give them the mileage.
Well said, well said. And is there any specific criteria that you follow, Marina, when it comes to choosing your distributors or partners?
Well, it will highly vary on product, but I would say I would support them. And again, I would say the producers or manufacturers, they should definitely look at company credibility, at their market expertise, clientele. Obviously, they should understand who are their main customers. Are they labor camps, cheap chandlers, or they are premium hotels and premium retailers? Obviously, they need to consider their storage facilities, manpower, car fleet, and all these factors. And again, there are retailers who have trading divisions inside their structure. So yeah, I believe there are many opportunities. It's just about picking the right product for your particular product.
Right. Okay. Interesting. And Anita, you pretty much follow something similar, or is it, I mean, of course, I mean, for you, it's more about who do you work with, who do you source? I know for sure you may have some trusted channels and distributors and partners that you work with, but how often is it that, you delve furthermore into that sourcing channels?
Yeah, no, it's a very valid point. For me, it is the credibility of the distributor, which is very important, because I would go to the distributor if I have I don't need to know who the manufacturer is and where it comes from, but whether it has been sourced ethically, whether there is certification, because in the event of something that goes wrong, whether it is supply or whatever, I would raise that NCR, as we call it, the non-conformist to our trader. So the credibility of the trader is absolutely important for me. And that's why I said that I do shy away from online purchases, because then you don't know where and how, the product has come to you. It's not about just having the product, it is about going back to it, the customer service and everything. So yes, trusted suppliers, and like Mr. Dharmendra said, who have a reach over here and understand the requirement of different industries, because the requirement of a retailer is completely different from that of a Horeca, is completely different from that of a wholesaler. So for me, yes, that is very, very very important. I'd rather not have the product rather than have it from an incorrect or a non-credible source. I would go to that extent. I'd rather use a substitute rather than go to, I don't know from where that item has come. Because also one very important thing is the storage. You may have the best product, you may really have the best product, but if you have given it and then there's not proper storage, or there is not proper handling of the product, or there is not proper availability of the product, it beats the purpose. You're putting in something onto your recipe and you cannot replicate it, or you cannot do it. So these are the things for me as procurement for the industry, which is very, very important.
Perfect. I think it's very clear, very evident that, the partner and the partnership and the trust probably takes, supersedes everything, right? In terms of, so it's quite important. I think, platforms like, the Organic Expo, this is one of the things that we always try to educate as well, like, because, now that, our audience can hear it from you, how important it is, right? Because sometimes, you are under pressure. You want to make sure that, handshake with the first one that, that comes along, right? But I think it's all about, making sure that you're partnering, you're working with the right distributor, the right partner who can take your product, who has got the reach, and at the same time, who can also give you that that strategy and insights in terms of where does your product stand in terms of pricing and product fit in the market, right? I think that was probably one of the very valuable advice that probably the panelists could give our audience. So I know we again, kind of like there was a silver line of availability which I think brings down to our next session, which is about, the export requirements, product registration, warehousing, and distribution options, right? So I think Mr. Iskandar earlier in his answer mentioned about, the halal certification, right? So I know that, Malaysia is probably the front runner when it comes to export of halal certified products. So is there any, especially in a supermarket scenario, because I know that you are in front line and, you work with producers pretty much direct. So is there any specific export requirement or regulation that need to be considered when planning export, especially into the UAE? I think you're on mute, Mr. Dharmendra.
Yes, very much requirement actually. We do that. The labeling is the one prime requirement of UAE. Once you are introducing any product here, that the product should be the Arabic label, must be on that. That's the most important, and there, and country of origin must be the written on that. The ones they're exporting it there. So this is the two requirement is the crucial on that ones. Definitely the temperature control, which temperature has to keep the product, that should be the mention on how to be storage levels, because it's dry or frozen or chilled, or maybe sometime they're frozen, but still you can sell in a chilled also as well. So you can sell chilled or you can sell frozen also. Both should mention on clearly on that ones. And then registration process, of course, every product has to register with the municipality with what is the shelf life, and then certification should be properly that which country of origin certificate, and if it's the organic product, what kind of soil they're using it, certification for the soil, and maybe whatever the other certificate they are having it from the various countries approvals, they can attach with that. So that is giving them the mileage also as well.
Okay, interesting. And when it comes to spinneys and Waitrose, do you stipulate on any particular certification, Marina?
Yes, when it comes to spinneys, so we don't require any particular specifications, but as Dharmendra mentioned, we do require obviously English Arabic labeling, and it should be in line with our regulations. And obviously, if we're talking about produce, organic certificate is a must. But there is another very attractive part about Malaysian trade, as Iskandar already mentioned, is the halal certificate, that we don't need specific attestation by ESMA or anything. Like it's just accepted by UAE, by ESMA approved. And yeah, that's the most attractive part, and I believe there are lots of opportunities opening because of that.
Okay, that's quite interesting, because how about, because I know that earlier, probably for Anita, one of the critical factor for her was having the availability of the product continuously, so that, she can offer her finished product on the other side. So when it comes to your supermarkets, Marina, how important and how do you ensure that there is continuous supply? I mean, knowing that some of these products are seasonal, perishable, what measures usually do you take?
Yes, obviously we measure service level, and that's the most critical part. And it's most painful, I would say, for any supermarket chain. And again, it's just about choosing the right partner who can support you and who can sometimes give priority to your particular supermarket chain, and who can ensure 95% plus availability. Yeah, service level. Yeah,
right.
The space is quite tough with the service level. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Anita, do you consider, let's say, having, of course, we all know that, especially when it comes to fresh produce and perishables, there is always a challenge or an issue of seasonality, right? So how do you mitigate? Do you consider multiple suppliers from multiple geographic regions, or how do you go about it?
So generally, I work with my suppliers on seasonality charts
Mhm.
and on an annual demand
Okay.
basis. So pretty much in the hospitality industry, of course, our recipes are fixed by about months or quarters. So as long as you manage that process in terms of like fruits, for example, fruits, you cannot control that. I mean, if a particular fruit is not available in a particular season, you just
Yeah.
factor that into your category or your recipe plan. So that's the main thing. So I always give my supplier the consumption.
Mhm.
In this month I would need so much, and then it's up to him to provide that product to me. And different ways, I mean, with the trusted suppliers, I'd rather go with one supplier and tell them that, okay, if you cannot give me an X origin or whatever, you can get it for me from another source, and give me the validation and all that, and have a premium, a secondary and a tertiary supplier. We try to have that, or at least I try to have that for my key categories like protein or sugars or whatever. So have at least 3 suppliers for each item. It's
Mhm.
easier said than done,
Mhm.
but a lot of that risk can be mitigated as long as you work with a plan with your, and that's why I go back to saying the validity, the credibility and the validation of a supplier is way more important to me than just that one-off product, because then the onus lies on the supplier to get me what I need on the criteria that is required.
Right. Understood. And Mr. Iskandar, probably you have heard, how important, or, probably everybody's that, the creamy layer is all about, having that variety of suppliers and to ensure continuous supply, right? So what is the scenario when it comes to the exports of from Malaysia? So do we have like a continuous supply, a system which really facilitates the easy export of these products out of Malaysia?
Just to share that we have around like 8,000 establishments that are involved with production of F&B in Malaysia. It's considered the biggest sector for us. So I don't see any issue for us to provide continuous supply for exports. In fact, we export to more than 200 countries in the world. And from the government side, we provide many supports to the exporters. Like for us, Matrade, we provide let's say incentives to participate in international trade fairs like the one upcoming this December. And then we have like trade officers around the world that we provide market intelligence as well to the Malaysian exporters to understand better about the market, so they can help to strategize how to penetrate the market.
Right. Amazing. Mr. Dharmendra, you mentioned about, labeling and, the municipality product registration, right? Because for quite some years, we have been assisting our exhibitors with, getting their products registered locally, especially with Dubai municipality, creating the labeling, including the labeling, and finally getting them the barcode, right? So do you believe that, how do you differentiate between a product which is already registered in the locally and a product which is not registered? The registered ones have got a bit of a preference when it comes to sourcing for you?
Registered product is very much easy, because it is approved from the municipality, you can say. So the process is cut down and timeline is cut down.
Yes.
So whenever is that the product is coming from any export country, so the few things is very important to what the shelf life you are getting it here. So once the product is registered, and clearance would be the more easy, rather than you brought the product here and then waiting for the municipality clearance. Until unless the product will clearance from the municipality, you will not be able to sell it. And especially when the perishable product would be there, then you have the much challenge for that. And maybe the once you are coming to the selling point of times, and the product switch on short expiry. So everyone book the losses. Maybe the supermarket side book the losses, or maybe the trader or the supplier will book the loss. Exporter will book the losses. So definitely the requirement is, if it pre-planned and survey is done, product is registered there, So easy to be supply in UAE. You're opening the doors for the supply.
Understood. Very valid. And Marina, when you deal with a new product or a supplier, do you insist that your product has to be registered, or do you have a department wherein you say like, okay, you know what, yeah, your product is something that I want, because it meets all the criteria, it ticks all the boxes. So give me the sample, our team will get it done. Does that happen, or?
Yes, this is more or less Finnish way, so we do take care of registration by ourselves.
By yourself.
And sometimes labeling as well.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So I think, probably we have kind of touched upon all the three key areas. I mean, coming down to even to the point of warehousing or, distribution and continuous supply. So I think that brings to our, final round wherein, I would like to hear about, your thoughts in terms of, what does the future looks like in your sector for in general for organic and natural product. If you could summarize your thoughts, summarize your vision, what the future looks like for you.
I can say that the future, definitely the organic is going to grow up, the sector is going to grow. Mm-hmm. But growth is depend on the which country is maintaining the supply chain and prices and quality also as well. And how faster they can bringing the goods is here also as well. Depend which channels they are bringing it.
Right.
So once they're exporting it and the procurement and once they will dumping from the one location to the shipping it, and if that is the taking a lot of time and you reduce the shelving life here, so that is the extra cost on everyone's. When the product reach on the very short shelf life, it is there. So definitely that once the demand is increasing it and matching all standards, which is requirement is that ones, and keeping in mind your countries, which is the beside of sitting Middle East countries, and even that Malaysia sitting by the Indonesia and other beside of that one, Philippines and other products also is there. So definitely they're keeping in all aspects once they're exporting it, so they can have the growth in that.
Beautiful.
An important thing is they should maintain the portfolio jointly, not only organic, the other sector also as well. That is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Got that. Yeah. And Marina, how does the future looks like for you when it comes to organic?
Well, I hope that trends will continue. It will be growing. But again, there is a stigma that there is no such thing as organic product. That I can still hear from many customers, right? So they say there is no such thing as organic, but yeah, fresh product is very important. So it really depends how you communicate it to the customers. There is a big focus in Spanish on organic and eco products. If you go to our stores, obviously you will see a lot of POS and shelf talkers saying organic or eco. And obviously we will be promoting it from our side. But I believe what will help us as well is government efforts who's trying to drive sustainability. And I believe there will be more and more projects coming up from their side, and that will help to boost this trend.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Anita, over to you.
So yes, organic or whatever it is here to stay. But my take on these things is that these are buzzwords. Yeah, I said this almost a decade back. I recall when it was really, today the buzzword is sustainability. Mm-hmm. Okay, in our industry, earlier it was organic. Yes, but it all a matter of how you stabilize it and how you make your product validated. I keep going back to validation because the consumer today, an end consumer, is very exposed to a lot of knowledge. So, just by having organic on a label saying GMO free, saying, whatever, it doesn't make it organic. So I think the definition of organic will change in another decade to come. And it will kind of stabilize, the purchase, the procurement, whether at a corporate level, whether at a wholesale level, will become a lot more realistic. That's where I see it going. I do see a trend moving, and it's not going away anywhere. But again, price consciousness. When a middle class or a middle class consumer wants to go organic, can he afford it? And the segment of luxury or the segment of hospitality is small. So whether you can get it to the common man's plate or not, and we can get it at the right price point with the correct product, that's to see. So for example, in UAE now, you see there's hydroponic farming, there is fresh produces. It's also affecting the price point positively. Like, today you can get tomatoes at 1 or 2 dirhams a kilo over here, and they are organically made. So can we reach to that point? I think that's my view on where it will go in the next decade or half a decade.
I think that sounds very positive and strong. Mr. Iskandar, your closing remarks?
Yeah, I totally agree with all the panelists that this industry will continue to grow in the future as people are now more health conscious. They want to know the products they are, consuming. They want to know where does it come from, the ingredient, and so on. So, but the challenge will be, like Anita mentioned, at the moment it's considered like a premium product. So how do we make it more affordable to everyone? So I think that's what we need to think about.
Thank you. Well said, Mr. Iskandar. I think the whole panelists today agree on this thing that there is demand, but of course it's a price conscious market. So we need to ensure that we have got quality products coming at the right price. And of course, we spoke about, it's very clear and evident that, to substantiate the demand, there has to be continuous supply. So which means that, more and more producers and suppliers need to enter the market. So probably that's where, we work a lot along with Mr. Iskandar and his team at Matrade. So I would like to thank Matrade, first of all, to make this masterclass session possible. It was wonderful to have you all share your thoughts, insights, and knowledge with all of us today. I would like to also thank our attendees for tuning in today to be part of this discussion. I hope there is a thing or two that you will take away from this. For those of you who are interested in being part of these and our flagship event, Organic and Natural Product Expo this December, please get back to us and we will share more details with you. And in case if you need any help in exporting your products to the Middle East with product registration advice, please drop us a line at info@organicandnatural.com. So I'm sure along with Matrade, we look forward to welcoming more exporters, more players into this market. And once again, thank you all panelists for sharing your time with us. I know that many of you are in different part of the world, but it was really enjoyable and very useful for our audience. So once again, thank you very much and have a lovely day.